Going to get started here in a few minutes. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. If you could just announce yourself in the chat, would be great. Let me know where you're coming from. I have the chat opened up so I can see you. And also let me know if you can hear me. That would be awesome. So we'll get started. I see people coming in. That's awesome. Welcome. I'm in a place of a public place, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So please let me know if you can hear me. Just type here in the chat. Appreciate that. So we'll get started in about 3 or 4 minutes. I have tons and tons of great information to give you. It's going to be a fun time, so sit back, get your pen and paper ready, and we will rock and roll. Absolutely. So, if someone could let me know that you can hear me, that would be fabulous. I'm sure that you can, but I'm going to turn my speakers all the way up. And so it's just about right at the top of the hour. I like to start things on time. And so let me just check this over here. We're going to get started here in 1 second. So many exciting things happening out here on this. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you. Now I'm going to take this chat off. So, all right. So thank you so much for joining me today on this webinar. And I've got a ton of information to give you. And as you saw, the theme of the webinar is really how to launch your business, how to really set yourself up financially for the future, for 2017 and there ongoing. And so my name is Cheryl Dobash, and I'm coming to you from Las Vegas. And today I'm actually in the Bellagio. I could take my little screen here and show you some stuff. There's the deli. I like to come here because I like the ambiance. And so when you think about surrounding yourself with elegance, with beauty, and not that I don't have a lovely home, I do, but it's my temporary home. And so when you think about surrounding yourself with all of that, you want to put yourself in a place of huge abundance. And that's why I love coming to this particular spot at the Bellagio. So today we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you tons of information about launching your business. But before I even get into that, I want to tell you a bit about myself and why I would even be sharing this information with you. So I live in Las Vegas. I've lived here for 15 years. I'm married. I've been married for a year and just a bit over a year. I have 3 kids. I have 7 grandchildren. My kids and grandchildren all live in Vancouver area, British Columbia. And I met my husband online. I'm one of those people that was looking for this perfect, significant other partner, and I found him online. And it's been almost 2 years ago that I actually found him. And so that's another whole story for another day. But today I'm going to talk about business. And so just to give you a little history about me and what has happened to me, in living in Las Vegas for the last 15 years, I was single most of that time. And I was a business owner here in Vegas and loved it. Loved business, loved living in Las Vegas. Of course, loved the weather. And so during the economy change, I lost everything. I had to really recreate where I was going to go and what it was going to look like. And so that was a very, very hard thing because I was depressed. Losing everything and being alone just is not a comfortable feeling. And so there's huge things that I could tell you about that, but I'm not going to bore you with all the story. However, I do want you to know that I pulled myself out of it. It took a lot of doing. It took a lot of courage, and it took a lot of persistence and belief and all of those things all rolled up into one. It took all of that and then some. And so I'm a firm believer in entrepreneurship. I'm a firm believer in empowering men and women, but I love empowering women. And so, yeah, I have people watching me. And so, which is okay. I like to get attention. So I'm a firm believer of all of that. And so I did a ton of research and I had to figure out, what avenue of business was I going to go in that was going to allow me to create financial freedom for the rest of my life. Because I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm not, I'm not even 50 anymore. I wish I was, but I'm not. So and growing old without financial freedom is a very scary thing. And what I have found today, all around the world, and definitely here in the United States, is most people do not have retirement. They don't have a plan B at all, and they're just living on a hope and a prayer that something's going to happen. And maybe those living in Las Vegas, they hope that they're going to hit the lottery, the gambling. And I'm not a gambler, so I don't that wouldn't fit into the equation for me, nor should it for others. You've got to do something that you're going to create that financial freedom, and that's what I want to talk with you about today: is how you can honestly create it. So I want you to do this little thing for me. I want you to give yourself permission to really, really think big, really, really big, with no limits on your thinking, no parameters on your thinking at all, just really big. The sky's the limit. So if you imagine, being here in Vegas and being in one of these enormous casinos, they're really, really big. So if you let your mindset just expand to that, it'll do you wonders. It truly will shift your mindset and change your life. And so write that down to really, really think big. And so now I want to talk with you about, so we're going to talk about how would you actually sponsor in your primary business, your network marketing business, how would you sponsor 20 business partners in 30 days? Well, I'm going to give you the blueprint to do that. And I'm thinking this webinar will go, maybe about 30 to 40 minutes. Could be a little longer, could be a little less. So if you're prepared to be with me during that time, I also ask that you turn your phone off, like just put it aside so it's not interfering with your focus, because focus is very, very important. It's crucial. And so let's just dive right into it. Now, what would it actually take to create that kind of business in 30 days? What would it actually take? Well, one thing that I want to share with you is that, when we think about doing it slow, a slow and steady growth really it's death. It truly is death. I know people, and I'm sure you do too, that have been in a network marketing company, in a business for, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 2 years, and they're still getting started. Well, the reason I wanted to do this webinar today is because I really want to give you some information that you could set up your harvest. We're at the harvest time of year, being September. We're actually almost, we're almost to the end of September. So the harvest time of year to set up, how farmers, they harvest all the crops and they put them away for the winter. And then in spring, so that sets them up for the winter rolling into their new year. And then they've used those funds that they have sold their crops through the fall. They use those funds to live into the new year. And so if you can understand that analogy, you'll understand that if you think about your business in network marketing or any other traditional business really, but we're mostly talking about network marketing today. And if you set yourself up to really sow the seeds and to plant the harvest and to reap the harvest over this full fall, over the next 30 and then 60 and then 90 days. So that would take us, if you were starting today, for example, that would take us to like the 23rd of December. That's what it would do. So it would take you through Halloween, through Thanksgiving, and just before Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, your harvest would be done. So I'm going to give you ideas on how to exactly do that, but also what it's going to do for you. So let's dive right into what one would have to do. First of all, to be able to embark upon that 30-day launch. Let's talk about a 30-day launch. And even if you've just joined your company or you've been in for 2 or 3 years, it makes no difference. You can relaunch and you can launch. And so this is about doing exactly that. So I'm going to give you a number of tips and ideas that you will need to be prepared to do. And so let's start first of all thinking about the mindset that it would take for you to actually dive in to launching your business. Well, first of all, you've got to have the belief. You've got to know why you're doing it. What is your why? What do you want to achieve from being in this business? It's kind of like if I use this analogy of a person that opened up a deli here in Las Vegas in one of these casinos. They opened up a deli. Well, they had a big reason for doing that. They had the big bucks to invest. They needed to hire all the people. They needed to have a manager because they don't want to be here managing it all the time. They want to be traveling and doing other things. But they wanted to create financial freedom, which is a big, big risk in setting up a deli, for example, in a casino, where when you're setting up your own business, you're in control. You can create the financial freedom. It's all up to you. It's up to you and the action that you take. So let's talk about what that action would be. So in the beginning of your game plan, as I said, it's the belief and it's the why. Then you've got to pave the way with whoever's in your household, in your family. You've got to have the conversation with them of what are you going to be doing, and what is that timeline like, and what are you going to need from them? So if they're the kind of family that relies on you to do all the laundry, all the cooking, and all the cleaning and work, well, you're going to have a big challenge. So what you're going to need your family to do is you're going to need your family to pitch in and help you, because after all, what you're doing is you're setting up the family financially for a future of abundance. That's really what you're doing. So you're going to have conversations with the family, whether it be your husband, your wife, your kids, whatever it is. And they're going to have to realize that over the next 30 days, and let's just say 30 to start with, to say 90 days is far too much for most people. They could never, that would overwhelm them and they'd never do anything. So let's start with 30. So you're going to say, you're going to let your family, your significant other, whoever's in your life, you're going to let them know that, I'm not going to be going out for dinners. I'm not going to be going to the movie. I'm taking Sunday off. I'm going to be working 6 days a week. And I'm going to be working long hours. So, I might not get to bed at night until midnight. And I might have to get up very early in the morning. You're going to decide, yes, you have to sleep, but you've also got to have the time to do this. And so if you're full-time, it's going to be much easier. But if you're part-time because you have a job as well, then it's a challenge, but it's very possible. And I'm going to give you some ideas and tips on how to do that. So clearing the deck is really what I'm talking about. That's really the number one thing, of clearing the deck and preparing yourself and your family as to what's about to take place in their life and your life. And so that's number one. And then number two is you've got to take, you have to prepare for this. So what I always suggest to people is that you take at least 2 or 3 days to prepare. Some people take a week. I would not take more than a week to prepare. And what would I be doing in my preparation time? Well, I would be compiling lists of people that I am going to be approaching. So I would take a booklet. I don't have one here with me, but I would take a booklet and I would dump my brain on that book. I would write down every person that I've ever known, thought I knew, that my sister knew, my brother knew, my husband, my wife knew, every person, and I would put down as many, the old saying of your Christmas card list. Well, most people don't have a Christmas card list anymore. I don't. I don't even send a Christmas card. But it's that kind of thing. If you come from that era, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's really putting everyone that you can absolutely think of. The people that you met at the grocery store, the people, whoever you bought your car from. It's all those people. They're all prospects for what you're about to do. Now, a really important key here is don't prejudge. Don't rule anyone out. Not a soul. And just because you're putting their names down on paper doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to call that person. But you probably are. But you've got them down on paper. And so often people will say to me in doing this, well, I've already talked to everyone I know, and I've already shared other opportunities with them. So I don't have anyone that I could talk to. And so here's my response to that is, all right, I still want you to put all those names down on paper. And maybe you won't talk to them right away, but I want you to put them all down so that you've got it in writing, you've got that list. And then I'm going to give you some ideas on where you can find other names. Now, of course, you can use social media, you can use Facebook, and I teach you how to do that. But honestly, for a 30-day launch, unless you already have a list of people with their phone numbers, because this is about phoning people, unless you have a list of people with their phone numbers, you're not going to want to rely on Facebook primarily to be able to do this, because it's not going to happen. You're going to be 6 months still doing it in your first 30 days, and you will feel like you failed. So I'm going to give you tips and ideas that are to set you up to succeed. I want you to succeed at this. And so if you've decided that you're going to actually bring 20 new partners into your business, well, this is how you would do that. And I will tell you exactly what I did to do that myself. And so that's number two is the list. You've got to have a list of people. And whether you go and you Google other companies, whether you Google hair salons, it depends, of course, because I have a variety of people on here, so they're not all with my primary business, but depends on what your primary business is as to which people you would go and Google. But you can get lists all over the place of people. You want to in your preparation time, you want to get as many business cards as you can. You might have set up a meetup group where that you have people that are coming into your meetup group. You might set up a Eventbrite event as well, and I'll tell you more about that on another webinar. But that's a very good way to get business partners as well. And you know, a few years ago we would have never thought about that process, but there's so much online that you can do, and then there's so much in your community that you can do as well. And so that is number two, getting your list together. And so the here's one of the worst things that could happen. If you're in day 5 of your launch, of your 30 days, and you don't have anyone to call, that morning when you get up and you start your day's work and you have no one to call, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. So here's what you would do if that's the case. You would, the night before, you would have got some lists together. If you've gone through all your lists, and really to do this and to do this successfully, you need 300 to 500 people on a list. You need to be prepared that you're going to be speaking to 300 to 500 people. And out of those 300 to 500 people, you're going to set up 150. Now you might want to write this down. 150 presentations, meaning you're going to present your business and your product to 150 people. Out of those 150 people, you're going to get approximately 20 business partners. That's the numbers of how that goes. And so then number 3 is you need to set your date. So in your preparation, you know, you've made the decision that you're going to do this 30-day launch, and you need to set your date and you need to stick to that date. So you need to have done all of the other things in letting your family know what's going on, and doing all those other things so that you're all ready to go. I'm getting some distractions. I'm sorry about that. And so setting your date and sticking to your date. And in setting your date, you need to have decided how many hours a day you're going to spend on this. So if you have full time, then full time on this is going to be 14 to 16 hours a day. And I'm serious about that. But that is what it is. So when you think about, when you think about 14 to 16 hours a day, yes, you're going to get tired. Yes, I mean, if you believe in Sundays off, then Sunday's the day off. If you're someone that believes in Saturday as the Sabbath, well, that be the day off. Doesn't matter, but you need to take one day off per week where that you do nothing. You might just lay in bed that day, but you need to rest. You need to get your rest and rejuvenate for the next week. And so having your hours down that you're going to work, having your schedule of the day the night before so that you know what time you're starting, how many hours you're spending on calling, how many hours you're spending on follow-up, and how many hours you're spending on email, and all of those things. And so that is number 3. Number 4 is you really want to you want to make a decision about where you want this to take you in your business. Like if there's a diamond level in your business and you wanted to get to the diamond level, then that would be the decision that you make. You want this rank run, as I like to call it, to get you to the diamond level. So you want to have that written down. You want to have it written all over, honestly. You want to have also part of that is deciding what kind of income you want to create. So you see, depending on your network marketing business, because we have a variety of people watching this, and thank you so much for jumping on. I see more and more people jumping on here as we go. And so you want to have taken your compensation plan and you want to have decided, all right, what do I need to do? What is enrolling these 20 new business partners going to do for me financially? And then what if I helped 6 of them in this 30 days to do the same thing that I'm doing? What would that do to me financially? You want to have that number and you want to have it written. You want to have it on your fridge, on your office, on your cork board in front of you, paste on your forehead, wherever, but you want to have it. You want to have it present with you so that you can so it's always with you. It's the top of your mind, that's what you're thinking about. And I love the thing that I've shared a lot of times in different situations, but that Mark Victor Hansen or Jack Canfield did when he and Mark Victor Hansen started Chicken Soup for the Soul. Jack Canfield was a school teacher and didn't have much money, and so he had this big goal of he wanted to make $100,000 that year, 6 figures. And so what was he going to take? So he had that all written out, and then what he did is he took a big piece of paper and he taped it up on the ceiling just above where he laid in bed, so that every morning he saw that before he got up, and the last thing before he closed his eyes and went to sleep, he saw that as well. And guess what he did? He hit it at, I believe it was 97,000 something like that. And so that works. It's visualizing. And I'm going to talk more about visualizing in a few minutes. But so you want to have decided what kind of money you want to make during this 30-day launch in your business. And you want to decide what level in your company do you want to get at. So excuse me, I have to drink water. So I actually put my product in this water so it's a little pink. And it's not the pink drink, but anyway. So let me carry on here. So then number 5 is you want to decide on a reward. Every day you want to be giving yourself a reward because you're full out. You're full on. Your focus is at the top. You've never done anything like this before. So you want to really reward yourself because your family might not. Your family might get annoyed with you. They might not understand it. And you just have to keep going. You have to honestly keep going with your decision because you're changing your life. You're honestly changing your life and the life of your family. But so you want to think about rewards. Now, what would it be? Well, I'll tell you some of my rewards. One of my rewards is actually at this deli here at the Bellagio where I come often. They have this most delicious gluten-free muffin that I like. And so I have a big latte like this, a nice big cup. I like the glass cup. Put my own coffee in here sometimes if I haven't already had it, and have them make it for me. And I have that gluten-free muffin, and that's a reward to me. So everyone is different, and we all have different things that we would like as a reward. My reward used to be Starbucks, and now I hate Starbucks. So, it just depends on, and it could be a big bubble bath. That could be a big reward. And so what you want to be doing is you want to be telling yourself, okay, I'm going to do all of this. You've got your list laid out. I'm going to talk to this many people. If you've decided that you're going to talk to 10 or 20 people a day that you're getting your business in front of, then you're not going to stop until you have accomplished that. And that's when you are going to have your reward at the end of that day when you've accomplished that. So rewards are very important, very, very important. And giving yourself a pat on the back is very, very important. And of course, when you do this and you're successful, believe me, you're going to be recognized on stage somewhere. You're going to be recognized. But you've got to get through it and get it done before that can even happen. So, all right, that is number 5. And now I want to go on to so number 6 is you really want to celebrate with your team, because if you're working with your team that is also doing a launch in their business, you want to do things that you can celebrate with them. And at the end of this, you want to have even a bigger celebration. But during the weeks that go into your 30-day and the days, you want to do things that you can celebrate so that you are supporting your team and assisting them in doing this launch with you. Because it's much more fun to be doing it with other people than it is to just be doing it yourself. All right. So now I'm going to talk. So that is the 6-7 different tips, ideas on starting your launch. But you know what? The big thing is, it's just to simply do it. It's just to simply make the decision and do it. Because once you get started in it, it's like anything else. Once you get started, then it's much easier. Then you get into the momentum of it. You get into the excitement and the energy of it. I was talking to one of my partners earlier today, and she's come up with a new script that we had talked about and developed. And so she called me 3 times this morning because she was so excited. So I want to make sure that I take those calls, and so would you want to make sure that you take those calls, because you want to encourage. You want to encourage your team, because you can't build. Now this is a big deal, what I'm about to say. You cannot build a network marketing business by yourself. So if you don't have that mindset of being a team player and engaging in other people and helping other people, and knowing that it's not about you, it's about them. It's about you helping them to get what they want, because when they get what they want, you'll get what you want as well. That's just the way the universe works. When you give, you have to give to get. And if you aren't the kind of person that likes to give, if you're the kind of that selfish kind of person, that me person, network marketing probably isn't the place you want to even be, because you just won't fit in. I mean, you won't be so liked. You won't be, people won't want to follow you, and so on. So it's all about giving. And so let me see now. I've got a bunch more stuff I want to share with you. And so a lot of this stuff I told you came from Eric Worre's 90-day plan and his 60-day plan. So let's talk a little bit about Facebook and what you might do there. Well, you could go and find like 10 to 20 different groups that you would request to join those groups, so that you could post different things in those groups as well. And so one of my notes here says to add at least 25 groups, but you can't, it's very time consuming to be posting in 25 groups. So let's leave it to 10 or 20 groups where that you have, you're a member of those 20 groups, and every day you're posting things. Now, what kind of stuff would you be posting? Because while you're building in your community, you want to also you want to be building online, because attraction marketing takes a little longer. It doesn't happen in 30 days. It would be a big push to be able to think that you would be able to find, unless you had been doing it for a while, then maybe so. But if you're just brand new starting, and for you to think that you're going to find 20 new business partners on social media would be a hard stretch. It would really be a big stretch. So I don't want to set you up to think that that would be possible. I mean, it depends on who you know, of course, but you want to be building locally as well, if at all possible. So then what you do is you've got yourself all ready to go. And as you start your days, your first 10 days is really about getting as many people into the hopper as possible, as I call it. So getting their interest. Now, often what happens, and this happens in my primary business, and one of my partners, it happened to him this morning. He talks to someone the day before, and then today they look at what he's got, and they come in with the builder pack right away. And people today are looking, and that's why doing a 30-day launch is so doable today, because people are seriously looking. Not only are they looking because maybe they want more money for Christmas if they celebrate Christmas, but they're looking because they need to increase their finances. They have 2 or 3 jobs and they want to make a change with that. Or maybe they're in corporate America and they know that they have no retirement plan. There's all kinds of reasons that people are looking. And so in those groups, let me go back to that for a minute. Now, what kind of things would you be posting in those groups and on your own timeline and in your fan page if you have one? So you've got your fan page if you've got that. If not, just use your timeline, and then you've got 10 different groups that you're going to use, that you're going to post in. So you want to be posting positive, uplifting things. Quotes, business quotes. If you are at the point of doing video and live streams, absolutely. And give value. Give tips. I mean, don't just get on there and talk about what you're doing or what your family is doing. Give actual concrete tips. Like, even if it's only one tip, but give them something that they can take away that day and put in their business that's going to help them. So give something that is going to help people. Now, I use MLSP, and if you wanted to know more about that, just PM me. But I use that as my personal development platform and also my affiliate program. There's huge information in there. There's tons of information where I get a lot of my content, where I go out and share it and teach it and so on, and create that attraction marketing format through that platform. And then what you want to make sure that you do is you want, when you're posting on Facebook or on social media and people like it or comment, you want to make sure that you've responded to those likes and comments, because they're a lead. That truly is, it's another lead for you, because they saw what you did, they saw your video, your live stream, or your post, or your quote, or the picture you put, and they, excuse me, I'll turn that off, and so they commented or they liked it. Either way, you want to reach out to them, thank them for liking and commenting, and start building the rapport, start building the relationship. Mm-hmm. Very, very important. Yes, I have to have another drink. So just 1 second. Now, so when you've got your list, I want to go back to this because I want to give you some tips today too on what would you say when you're calling people. Now, because sometimes it can be very scary having to pick up the phone and talk to 10 or 20 people a day. I think about Ray Higdon. He always said that he didn't stop his day till 20 people told him no. Well, he got lots of yeses during that time. And so, see, lots of people, anyone really successful in network marketing and in business, they do a launch. That's what they do as a kickoff to get their business going. And otherwise, you're just treading water and you're wasting time. So they do a launch to get it going. Now, did you know that when Eric Worre did his first launch, this is way back when he was in network marketing, because I'm sure you know who Eric Worre is. Now he's no longer with a company. He teaches and does so many things that help us, all of us out there, to become a network marketing professional. Well, and if you don't have his book, I suggest that you get it, because he's got 7 different scripts in there, 7 different steps to build a business. But I wanted to share with you what Eric Worre did in his first 10 months, what kind of income that created for him in his first 10 months, $980,000. And he says that it's all over out there. It's documented, so it's not something that anyone made up. It's documented. $980,000 is what he created. Now, remember at the beginning of this webinar, I talked about how you would know your why. Why are you doing this? Well, everyone wants to make money, even though we don't want to think about, oh, I don't want to sell, or it's not about the money. Well, really that is crap, because it is about the money. Yes, you have to do it, provide a service to get paid, but when you provide the service, you deserve to get paid. So at the end of the day, it's about increasing your finances so that you can have a better quality of life. You deserve that. You deserve a better quality of life. Every one of you that are here and anyone that is listening, because this is being recorded and it will be on my YouTube as well. So if you know people, or if you're the kind of person that says, well, I don't want to make money, it isn't about the money. Change that. Just get that attitude out of your mind, because it's about helping people so that you can help yourself. You have to give to receive. And the more you give, the more you receive. Imagine if you were able to go out once a week to a nice dining place, and there was a family with children next to you at a table, and you didn't know who they were, but imagine if you could secretly just say to the waiter, I'll take care of their tab, their complete bill. Think about the feeling that would give you, the feeling of it would just give you this positive, warm, fuzzy feeling that you helped someone else. You paid it forward. You did a good deed. I mean, whatever words you would use in thinking about that, but it would be a great thing. Well, that's something that one could do. How many of you today could say, well, I'm financially at the place that I could do that? Maybe all of you, I don't know, because I'm not looking at who's on here. And webinars, of course, attract a lot of new people that I don't even know. It's one of the things I love about doing webinars. So let me just go over here and see if I have any questions in the chat. So if you do have any questions, you can just put them in the chat, and I'll take a minute here and answer any questions. And then I'm going to share a couple other things with you and then close this off. I hope that you've gotten value from this. And I know many of you that may be on here have followed me for a while, so you've heard some of this stuff before. But this is really a blueprint to honestly put your business on the map. To put your business and your life on the map. I'll be doing more webinars, and there'll be different topics. But if you have any questions, just let me know. And I love feedback. Now, also, please do go to my fan page, which is facebook.com/work with Cheryl. And if you haven't liked the page, please like the page. And then you'll see I did a live stream earlier today, and I'm going to do another live stream after this webinar in a little while with a completely different topic. Which I'm not going to tell you about that topic, but you can go and check it out later if you want to get on that live stream. And so I want to give you a couple of other tips before we go. And by all means, if you have any questions, just type them in. And so while I'm giving you a chance to do that, should you want to, I will give you a couple of other ideas of reading material. Now, one very good book is The Slight Edge. I love that book because he talks about it's just as easy not to as it is to. And so if you've not read that book, that's a very good read. And then another book is, now this is a book that is absolutely a must. Everyone should have it. It's like your Bible of business. Whether you're traditional business or network marketing, it's like your Bible of that. So that's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And so that book, now I don't have it here with me today, but I have that book all marked up. I have stickies in it, and I have highlights all over. It's a book that I go to almost every day and find something different in that book that is going to help you in your business. Personal development is huge in what you're about to do, and so you want to be spending 15 minutes a day on your personal development. So that's all I have for you today. I thank you so much for joining me, and I'm going to call it a wrap, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you over on a live stream, or we'll see you on another webinar, whichever it is. So thanks so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheryl with Cheryl's Network Live, signing off.